Don't believe everything you read. This address, 100 George Street, The Rocks, Sydney, was actually established not long after the first fleet arrived in 1788, before it was actually called George Street. By the mid-1800s, it was a church, and a few years later, a club offering reading and smoking rooms, socialising, bank, and a newspaper. In the late 1900s, world-renowned artist Charles Billich created his modern masterpieces, inspired by this historic location. 200 years ago, the ship was called the Supply, one of the most famous ships in the First Fleet, and this was the commanding officer, Henry Ball's house. Now, the ship is the Queen Elizabeth. And this most Aussie of properties, built of sandstone, or what they used to call the rocks, has undergone a $16 million facelift.
We had a lot of difficulties with the historical side of the building, keeping in theme with the venue. So we had to make sure everything was in the same sort of architectural design that it was originally here in 1909 when the building was first redeveloped as the Rawson Institute. It's really just a prime location. Where else would you want to be on any day of the week, having a beer or a cocktail, even dining with a friend?
So what happens when you mix a master chef with a master artist?
I have up here 1,000 images that I have to download and put them onto paper, or put them onto canvas. And I also have some recipes that I have the passion to reenact, to actually materialize and to offer to my people. You know, I wish I could do both things at the same time. And the thing is that, of course, just about every artist is a very good chef in a way. Why? Because they cannot afford restaurants every day, so they have to actually make for themselves. Making a mess, but it's a kitchen. To support myself, I thought I'll open a chain of restaurants. And the chain of restaurants actually opened 3. And
oh wow, I didn't know that part.
That was 50 years ago.
Just from the little knowledge that I had now about you with having restaurants in the past and the art format behind it. For me, I've just done restaurants. Which one do you think is much easier to deal with?
Both gastronomy and art are subject to a great deal of love, practice and dedication and discipline. You know, I invented a few recipes, among others. You know, we had this Billichbaisse recipe, but a little bit different because it was called Italian takeaway. So the accent was on Italian wine in the Billichbaisse. Now we need a little parsley, and I'm introducing a new philosophy. But my mom also had something to do with my education in the kitchen. But being rebellious, I wanted to ramify away from
the traditional.
I think the sauce has to become almost like a passata, you know, like a paste.
I think the touch that I love the most about it is the Pernod. That I think Pernod is a beautiful ingredient to use with seafood. It just adds this nice element touch to it, the sweetness behind it that balances really beautifully.
A little naughtiness. This Billichbaisse is going to be the closest cousin to Bloody Mary.
I think so. It's the tomatoes, it's the vodka. I thought just the Italian theme behind it, or all this Mediterranean flavors, would all build in together, and Marion as well did the dessert.
So this is my cafe lime panna cotta with beautiful lime strawberries. This is a sort of very typical dish for me. It's a blend of Asian flavours with the kaffir lime and the lime zest, but then a very Italian preparation in a panna cotta. So yeah, I like it. Well, it's 2 years ago since I was on MasterChef. So 3 years ago, I was literally a student, you know, answering phones and doing all those sorts of things, and now I'm here talking to you guys, spending the night with Charles Billich. So it's pretty wonderful. So yeah, so thank you for coming, and I hope you enjoy your dessert.